Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Montrose Vibes, your source for the latest and greatest entertainment happenings in and around Montrose. I'm Matt, and with me is Monica.
Hey, Montrose.
As always, we have a special guest in studio with us. Some say the restaurant Famous Dave's is named after him. Actually, nobody has said that besides me. But he's definitely someone who is involved with different things in our community. Mr. Dave Frank, welcome.
Welcome. Glad to be here.
So Dave, one of the many things you're involved with is the Rotary Club, and you are actually the current president of the Rotary Club of Montrose. How and when and why did you get involved with the club?
My father-in-law, Bill Patterson, has been a Rotarian for a long, long time. And I've known a number of different Rotarians over the years. And finally, one day, Howard Davidson says, "Why aren't you in Rotary?" I said, "Because no one's ever asked me." And so he said, "Well, I think you should be in Rotary." And I said, "That'd be great, no problem." And the rest is history. And me with volunteeritis that I've got, that pretty soon it was one of those, well, we need somebody to do this. Okay. We need somebody to do that. Okay. So I ended up as president after only being in Rotary for about a year and a half.
Wow, okay. So that's not long ago.
Not that long, no.
And people might know your better half, Sue.
Mm-hmm.
How and when did you all meet and end up in Montrose?
Sue, my wife, is president and CEO of TEI Rock Drills. And they moved to Montrose. They moved the company to Montrose in 1989 or 88. And because they decided this was a great place, a good transportation hub, good center of manufacturing, easy to get to and easy to get out of. And so they moved here, and my sister-in-law one day said, "I've got this girl I'd like you to meet. She's got a great personality." Which, of course, as everybody knows, is a huge red flag. And then she walks in, I'm like, wow. And it was literally love at first sight.
And how long ago was that?
That was 28 years ago.
Wow. And so are you from Montrose?
I was actually born in Montrose.
Okay.
I'm one of the actual natives, born in Montrose Memorial Hospital, graduated from Montrose High School. But I've been all over the world, and I've done a lot of different things.
And you have Bill as a father-in-law, so Bill's a nice guy, but I would imagine that can be intimidating to some as well.
It is.
Now, a subject many of us enjoy talking about, beer. Not just beer, but beer and barbecue and music. There's a big event coming up June 9th at Cerise Park that Rotary Club is helping put together. You may have read about it in MDP, but Dave, can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm on the committee to build the Montrose Rotary Amphitheater. Mm-hmm. And our design crew said, well, in order for us to really do this well, we have to have an acoustics test at the venue of Cerise Park so that they can help design the acoustics. And we're going to have bands, and we're going to have the amplifiers, and well, to us it made perfect sense that if you're going to have a band and you're going to have amplified music, you might as well have some beer and barbecue and have some people standing there listening to it. So Rotary Club kind of teamed up with the Montrose Summer Music Series with Dave Bowman and his crew and with the city of Montrose, and decided, let's do this as a fundraiser for the Montrose Rotary Amphitheater project. And so what we decided to do is we're going to have what we are calling the Hogback Festival and Amps and Ale. We're kind of partnering up with some of the local restaurants and some of the local breweries that we're going to have some good live music and some good food and some good beer, and hope it turns out to be a fun event.
And everything's local, right?
We're trying to keep everything local. We'll probably have some of the Palisade Brewing and some of the Grand Junction breweries and some of the places like that.
So regional.
But we're trying to keep the food and the vendors as local as we can. Right now we're kind of on the search for vendors that want to sell arts and crafts, mm-hmm. and food vendors. And if there are other breweries, our only requirement is they have a current city sales license and they have proof of insurance. And they can contact me through websites, so through the Facebook page, or if they know me, they just stop me on the street.
Okay.
Is there a fee to be a vendor at the event?
Right now there is a $100 food vendor fee. Our discussions this morning are that for arts and crafts vendors, because they might not sell $100 worth of glittery neckties, that we're going to be a lot more flexible on vendors for other items, tie-dye t-shirts or, pinwheels or whatever else they want to sell. But we would like to attract as many vendors as possible. So we're going to be as flexible as possible to make that happen.
And when complete, the amphitheater in Cerise Park will bear the Rotary's name. Why was that so important to Rotary to be a part of that project?
A lot of people don't understand that Rotary has been really one of the major builders and components of large public works projects in Montrose. Rotary helped build the pavilion. We have Rotary Park downtown. Rotary has done a lot of work internationally and globally with programs like eradication of polio. And when Montrose Rotary looked at the possibility of getting involved in the amphitheater project in Montrose, we stopped and looked at it first and said, what is the benefit to the community? And we thought, the city's building it, so there's not going to be a revenue generated from this. So we're not going to be helping a private vendor make money. It's going to give the opportunity for ballet performances. It's going to be an opportunity for the Valley Symphony Orchestra to have an outside venue. It's going to be an opportunity to help the economic viability of Montrose by giving room rentals, meals, and so on for when we do bigger concerts, that we can bring in larger named talent into Montrose. Because right now, there is nowhere in Montrose for Charlie Daniels Band, as a random example, to come and play in Montrose. We can't draw them. We can't draw the larger acts. With the Montrose Rotary Amphitheater, we're going to be able to attract some of these larger things. So it's going to have a nice economic impact on Montrose. So we also looked at it from a perspective of Rotarians are the movers and shakers in Montrose. And we want to make sure we put a positive impact and a lasting signature on Montrose. And we feel the amphitheater is a great way to do that.
Now, you also mentioned, as we were discussing that, the initiative to eradicate polio.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about why you and other members of Rotary are just so passionate about that initiative?
Our generation grew up in a time where in second, third grade, we had lectures on polio and the problems with polio. And we all knew someone that had been affected by polio. I had an uncle that had polio as a child. Leela Allah, who we just recently honored with Leela Allah Day. She had polio when she was a child and had problems. Turned out to be a fantastic musician despite having had surgery on her left arm and only partial use of it because of polio. Years ago in the mid-'80s, that the Rotary Club paired with UNICEF and a couple of the other organizations that decided that we need to do something about this, and it is doable. We had 2 vaccines. We had both the injectable and the oral vaccine that could help eliminate polio. All we needed was the infrastructure and the finances to help spread that globally. And so that was kind of the focus initially. And since then, we've gone from hundreds of thousands of cases a year to last year, I think it was a total of 20 cases. And most of those cases are occurring in the Middle East, where they're actually the Taliban and so on are killing the vaccinators. So the vaccine program works, and we would love to see polio completely eradicated in the world.
So outside of Rotary, what else are you doing, Dave? Any hobbies?
One or two.
Singing, plays.
I sing, I dance, I'm acting plays, I'm a retired professional chef. I just recently had an opportunity to appear on a television show as a contestant, and that show is going to be airing in the next week, on next Tuesday night.
You can't tell us what show?
And I can tell you actually now, finally. The show is called Knife or Death, and it's on the History Channel. And basically, it's an obstacle course with swords and knives. Kind of like a cross between Forged in Fire and American Ninja Warrior. And so that was a lot of fun to participate in. I can't tell you anything about how it turns out, but I can at least tell you that it existed. Also, my family is a big focus of my life. And I like, spending time with the kids and with the grandkids and with the families and sisters and brothers, and it's a lot of fun.
He's basically way cooler than most of us. Professional chef, singing, dancing,
TV shows.
Like being on a podcast, it's like, I was just on TV.
Nah, this is awesome.
All right, so big question though. Probably the most important question we'll ask you, and being that you're a native, you can put the kibosh on this. Is it Montrose or Montrose?
Montrose.
Montrose.
You actually pronounce the T.
Okay.
Montrose.
So those people that say it's Montrose.
Montrose, they're just being lazy. That's the people that say button instead of button.
And Dave's a native, so he has
I know
the knowledge
this.
of this.
It was bred into me.
Okay, fair enough.
And our other big question that we ask, you're on an island and stranded by yourself. What 3 albums would you pick to listen to for the rest of your life?
Dark Side of the Moon.
Good choice.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd have to go with Rolling Stones, Tattoo You, and probably the Stevie Ray Vaughan Best Of. Just
Selections.
some good, solid stuff right there.
Just the music you grew up with?
Music I grew up with, but as a professional musician, I also look at it as, I want music that actually is music.
Yeah.
And not just real repetitive and real tired.
Yeah. Now, I know Rotary is looking for some new members, particularly younger people. If people have interest in joining, how would they go about doing that?
Recently, Montrose Rotary redid our membership structure, where now we're offering corporate memberships, family memberships, and a reduced rate membership for the first year for new members. Because as you said, right now, one of the things we're really excited about is getting new faces and new vision and new blood involved in the club to kind of revitalize it. So we're trying to attract people from all walks of life with the understanding that what we are demanding of you is that you give of your time, talent, and treasure. And you have to be able to have that vision for the good of the community in your heart. But other than that, any Rotary member would be willing to set you up with our membership committee and to give you the process and the application, and we would love to have people come and talk to us. If nothing else, come to the Bridges on Tuesdays at noon upstairs and come and visit us. See what we're all about, see what the meetings are like. And we also have on Thursday mornings what we call our TBM, or Thursday breakfast meeting, and that is a leadership sort of training focused group, much more relaxed, much smaller. We sit and drink coffee, and Melanie Hall gave a great lecture this morning on business networking and the importance of that. And we're going to be working through the book of The Ideal Team Player by Patrick Lencioni. And after that, we're going to be going into, we've got a whole series of leadership books. It's a great opportunity for people to just come on a Thursday morning from 8 to 9, have a cup of coffee, learn something new, connect with some people that you've never met before.
Well, Dave, we really appreciate you making time. We know you're a busy guy, and it's always nice to catch up with you. And if you guys are interested in joining Rotary, be sure to follow what Dave said. Go over to the Bridges when they have their meeting. They also are on Facebook.
We're on Facebook.
Yeah, and that's all we've got for you, so we'll see you next week better than ever.
Catch you later, Montrose.
Bye-bye.